prove with a win on Sunday that they're legit Super Bowl contenders. If they go into Denver and win, they also will have a real shot at the 1 seed. Now, I don't think they'll get it because I think Denver, what looked like it was going to be a tough final 2 weeks, not so much now because next week for Denver is Kansas City, and then week 18 is a Charger game that might mean a lot for the Chargers, or for the Chargers might mean literally nothing. They might be not able to win the division and locked into the playoffs if we think Phillip Rivers and the Colts aren't going to go on a streak. So I wouldn't say they're going to get the 1 seed, but they'd be alive for it. But when you have seen, and I know people get mad at me about this, there have been stretches where Trevor Lawrence has looked like an elite quarterback. Now, they have been far too intermittent for a guy of his pedigree, for the #1 pick, a guy of his salary, but it is not as if we haven't ever seen him play at a super high level for an extended period of time. We have. We also have seen him play in the playoffs, and weird first playoff game with the terrible first half and the perfect second half. And the second playoff game in Arrowhead against the Chiefs, he played really well, just up against a better team. When we say we have this wide open AFC, if the Jags get to 11-4 by beating the #1 team in the conference on the road, you've got to take them seriously.
Greg was having a fit when you said about Trevor.
Well, because I'm like, a lot of that can apply to Daniel Jones, but that's not Daniel Jones' topic.
Wow.
Anyway,
Love it.
I'm just saying.
Love it, Greg.
So,
show me the 7th and MVP.
No, I want to. Oh my.
Just show it.
Is that even a
show
thing?
me?
Exactly.
Show me.
I don't even know if that's factual. I don't know if that's a Nick fact or what.
I know it's in Pro Football Reference.
So I don't know. And this is a serious question. You believe that the Denver Broncos can win the Super Bowl?
Begrudgingly, I have to acknowledge it seems to be possible. Yeah.
That's the longest yes I've ever heard.
But he's there. It's been a while.
This is the game where I was saying, even earlier in the week, if they beat the Broncos, okay, all bets are on. This will make me believe and start to give this team some credibility of, okay, they actually can win these types of games because of what I believe the Broncos are. Because I don't believe the Jags are that yet, because I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence do it against, albeit he's playing great, I haven't seen him play the way that we just saw last week, obviously against the Jets.
Against the best teams.
Yeah,
they
against
were
the best
winning
teams.
Despite him
if he goes into Mile High and plays great and they win, he doesn't even have to play the way he did last week. If he goes in there and he's a reason why they win, of course, this is a team that can cause a lot of problems in the postseason.
You guys are right, and I know all of us, even Nick, we look at the Jags and we look at Trevor and feel like, even if you think he's on the rise, he's not playing well enough to lead a team to the Super Bowl. But Bo Nix, have we seen enough from him? C.J. Stroud?
Yes.
You know? Drake May. But seriously, like, we haven't seen any of these guys. And then you got Rodgers and older guys. Lamar's had a bad season. So, I think if they win, yes, I agree with you guys. They are a contender. They pounded the Chargers. They beat Indianapolis. They beat Kansas City, San Francisco, Houston, and Carolina. I mean, those are some good teams. And I will say this. I'm more interested in it. If Trevor Lawrence plays great and continues this string of great games, even if they lose like a close game, I will be like, the Jags might be able to do something in the playoffs.
And by the way, playing great against the Broncos' pass defense just means...
Yeah, it doesn't mean lighting them up for like 4 touchdowns.
No, absolutely. Right, and so the thing, because Jags-Texans is a very likely round 1 playoff matchup. Jags-Chargers is a very likely, those are the 2 most likely round 1 opponents. To your point, they annihilated the Chargers. The Texans, they beat them once, and the second time... They were up 26-0 entering the fourth and then melted down, but they thoroughly outplayed them in both those games.
All right, let's discuss the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's be clear, I am not abandoning my support for this team or its fan base. As I've mentioned previously, I genuinely desire to continue creating content centered on this franchise. However, the viewership for these videos is notoriously unpredictable. Some garner a few hundred views, which is essentially negligible. As I've expressed before, I am a single individual operating with limited resources, striving to do my best. This endeavor isn't merely about pursuing view counts or accumulating subscribers without purpose. The core objective is to produce material that people authentically wish to consume. Therefore, when you, the audience, watch videos in their entirety and subscribe, the impact is direct and significant. Viewership and subscriber numbers increase dramatically. This positions me to confidently continue Jaguars-focused analysis, knowing there is an engaged audience seeking discussion. Otherwise, the practical reality forces a shift in focus toward other teams with more reliable engagement. As my time and creative energy are finite, I aim to dedicate that effort to topics that foster genuine interaction. I produced a Jaguars video recently, delivered that same appeal, and the response was phenomenal. Metrics soared, and it felt like a celebration. Encouraged, I created a follow-up Jaguars video, and the engagement was minimal. A few hundred views and scant commentary. It's challenging, but I remain committed. We will persist, continue striving, and give our best effort. A victory on Sunday would substantiate everything for this Jaguars squad. Even a high-caliber competitive performance would affirm their inclusion among the league's legitimate championship contenders. There's a concept of a Super Bowl bubble for eligible teams. The reality is, if you execute at an elite level, even in a loss, you demonstrate you belong in that conversation alongside other contenders. I've reiterated this point in previous Jaguars analyses, because to me, that is the threshold for validation. Trevor Lawrence undoubtedly still has elements to prove, given the unconventional trajectory of his professional career thus far. I believe that assessment is entirely reasonable. Certain quarterbacks must continually substantiate their standing. A crown is not bestowed permanently. I have consistently contextualized Lawrence's challenges, managing injuries, performing while compromised, navigating previous suboptimal coaching. Granted, this is his inaugural season with the current offensive coordinator, but he is not a novice. This isn't his second year in the league. If it were, my leniency would be greater. This situation differs from a rookie quarterback collaborating with a new play caller. The Jaguars possess considerable momentum. Yes, their recent dominance has come against inferior opponents, which is a valid observation. However, using another team as a reference point illustrates a disparity. That team's most competitive outings were against inconsistent and declining opponents, whereas the Jaguars comprehensively dismantled them, offering no opportunity for competitiveness. This leaves us pondering, how do we reconcile these various performances, victories, and defeats? At this juncture in the season, observing how Jacksonville is performing right now, my perspective is that prior context holds diminished relevance. The critical question is, what are you accomplishing presently? You now face the most formidable team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos. We can attempt to qualify the Broncos' success by highlighting their quarterback's youth, but barring an uncharacteristic, catastrophic individual performance from him, a regression to early season form marked by rushed decisions, errant throws, and turnovers not directly forced by Jacksonville's defense. A victory over this Broncos squad constitutes a victory over the league's best team. Therefore, even a highly competitive showing demonstrates you operate at that elite tier. The playoffs themselves are inherently unpredictable. This game is about proving you belong in that conversation. The narrative shifts slightly if the Broncos quarterback indeed delivers a profoundly poor performance. In that scenario, the nature of the victory is altered, which I acknowledge supporters are often reluctant to hear. Fans frequently perceive any qualifying analysis of a win as making excuses, and any critique of a loss as placing blame. I understand that sentiment, but we occupy a bizarre landscape within the current NFL season, where numerous teams feel reconstituted or are navigating novel circumstances. We have second-year quarterbacks, others in their second year, but with new coaching staffs, a legendary quarterback on a new team, a perpetually injured roster, a star quarterback with a deficient supporting cast, a franchise where a historically poor offense is now aligning with an elite defense, a previously hot team decimated by injuries, a squad with a new quarterback, another with a second-year quarterback, but a first-year coordinator, a team that should exhibit continuity but is mired in coaching instability, a banged-up contender, and a squad with immense continuity that nevertheless finds itself as a lower seed. Another presumed contender is held together precariously due to injuries, and a previous powerhouse is disintegrating physically. This chaotic context is why my fundamental thesis is this: simply perform competitively. Trevor Lawrence must continue to solidify his status. He can acknowledge his career commenced under unusual circumstances. A college coach who was later dismissed, followed by a competent but not transformative head coach, compounded by significant injuries. He can assert, "I am a high-caliber quarterback," while his coordinator can assert, "I am an excellent coach. Provide me the tools, and I will produce results." This season is the most opportune time for that dynamic to coalesce. It is a wildly unpredictable campaign. The mere statement that a legendary quarterback is leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to a division title, while traditional powers like the Chiefs and Ravens are absent from the playoffs, feels surreal. I concur with the sentiment that securing the top seed is inherently challenging, yet it remains distinctly possible in this strange landscape, particularly if the Broncos quarterback underperforms. While such a scenario might slightly diminish the luster of a Jaguars victory, unless Jacksonville's defense is the unequivocal catalyst, it paradoxically opens a pathway. A Broncos stumble could provide Jacksonville with a critical tiebreaker advantage, especially if other contenders also falter, genuinely positioning them for the top seed. This contest carries monumental weight. As I've likely expressed before, this team must cultivate its own confidence and self-belief. While players possess individual confidence, there is a palpable difference between believing and knowing. A victory over the Broncos transforms belief into concrete knowledge, a deep-seated conviction that they can unequivocally achieve greatness. The coaching staff becomes more precise, the players more focused. A collective hyper-focus emerges on making the improbable probable. It is astonishing, and I will address this when analyzing the Broncos, how profoundly under-discussed this matchup is. We are discussing two top-seeded NFL teams with legitimate late-season stakes clashing on a weekend with a lighter schedule due to Saturday games. The lack of substantive conversation surrounding this game is incomprehensible to me. There are segments devoted to backup quarterbacks on eliminated teams, topics of minimal consequence. When selecting material for analysis, I encounter such clips and deem them uninteresting and irrelevant. Conversely, discussing a pivotal Jaguars game matters, yet there's a genuine risk that more individuals would prefer discourse about an irrelevant storyline than a playoff-bound Jaguars team facing the league's best. I am endeavoring to steer the conversation toward the Jaguars, who are actual postseason participants with a legitimate championship opportunity, rather than focusing on a popular but eliminated franchise simply due to their broad appeal. This is my concerted effort. I hope you, the audience, can respond once again. Subscribe, watch the videos, and let's sustain this momentum. But those are simply my reflections. I would be delighted to hear yours. What are everyone's thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars? What can they substantiate with a victory this Sunday? Share your perspectives in the comment section below. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or challenge me, let's engage in some dialogue. Let's have some spirited debates, but ultimately, let's simply enjoy the conversation. Please consider subscribing. We are cultivating an incredible community here and would absolutely adore your participation. I aim to build something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we're truly enthusiastic about joining. I believe we are making significant progress toward that goal. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so very much. I will see you all next time.